this viral clip of this Gen Z girl is circulating the internet talking about how she doesn't have enough money to survive out here in these streets. Okay, so like the economy is different, and she mentions that 20 years ago it was much different, and so people should stop hating on Gen Z. And we're gonna play this clip, and I want to know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. What are your reactions, and whether or not you agree. I'll go through some founding, and I'll let this thing play all the way through. So here we go. Let's get going.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective here. You've been working for 20 years. You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have 20 years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you created. You can sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills. And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined. We can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did. You let it all run to hell. And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes.
Okay, so I have a lot of things that I need to pick apart in this whole video, but I think as a general overarching narrative, I actually agree with her sentiment that, hey, I don't think we should be dogging on a particular generation. I think that also I agree with her that this economy is particularly tough. Is it tougher than previous generations? I'm not sure if I would go that far because each generation has struggles, but certainly there are aspects of this economy that are particularly harder. And so maybe the ratios or whatever. But before we get into that, I do want to see into what was it that they made in the back in 2004, which was 20 years ago. And so this is by BLS.gov, and the median earnings of 99.7 million full-time wage worker salary workers was $634. Okay, so 634 times 52 weeks in the year. The average salary is $33,000 a year for 2024. That is somewhat right in the middle between after high school graduates, no college, and some college. So just underneath people with some college degrees. And I thought also it'd be useful to look at this stat that in 2024, I'm in Florida. So in Florida, the median price for existing homes was $182,000. Okay. So there's a couple things that I don't know if I disagree with, quite honestly. Okay. For one, it's coming off a little brattish. It's coming off a little I deserve, right? No one deserves anything. It seems like she works at Walmart, and that's a minimum wage job, no skills job. So she doesn't have that available to her. Now, she does say that we have 20 years behind the belt. Well, behind the belt is a different, it's under the belt. But, I'm not trying to be petty, even though I'm petty. But, yeah, compared to someone who's talking down on somebody, when were then sitting on 20 years and they say, like, I did it back then, I think that it's a little unfair because, you do have 20 years of experience where you were trying to earn your degrees or skills, or network is another important aspect of this, experience, track record, all that stuff. So it's very difficult to, it's a little unfair there. However, every generation has had its own struggles, its own problems. If you forget that's when the big crash was happening. You know what I mean? So like there's something to be said there. Like, is it difficult? Yes. I don't think she could go on her high horse like we are at the most difficult generation to be successful in. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so I don't grant her that she thinks that this is the most difficult generation that's had to make it out there. What about World War I? What about World War II? What about all those? You know what I mean? Like, it's silly to me. The other thing is that she mentioned multiple times that I don't want to have to work my whole life to just barely pay my bills. Well, here's the thing. I don't think anyone can get away with not working their entire life. Okay? Yeah, there are these like delusions, I should say, of someone like retiring early. Well, here's the thing. If you retire early, in my opinion, you're actually doing yourself a disfavor. I believe as humans, we're meant to like create. We're meant to work. Work is a very holy thing. It's a very sacred thing. That's why you get offended if someone insults your line of work, because it's very intricately connected, because it's how you provide value in this society, in the economy. It's how you provide value to your family. You provide value in some way, and you get compensated in return so that you could then benefit those around you. So that's another thing. She says, I do not make enough. There's another point. I do not make enough to pay my rent, pay my bills, survive and have fun and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because it's a minimum wage job, no skills job. You have to grind it out, and you have to be able to apply skills to yourself. She doesn't have the skill of leadership. Well, maybe she does, but it's not been recognized. She doesn't have the skill of leadership. She doesn't have the skills to create or craft something or service. If she did, she should know that she is in a voluntary job. Okay, she could leave at any time. No one's holding her there. If you're not happy with what your pay is at Walmart, leave. No one is obligating you over there to work 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week isn't even that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, people work like 60, 70, 80 hours a week. If you're trying to get up a business, you're working 80, 90 hours a week. And that is not uncommon. The most successful business owners in the world at one point or another sometime in their life has outworked anyone around them. So 40 hours a week, bro, I'll sneeze at that. That's nothing, right? So she's got some misconceptions. She's got some entitlement issues there that I believe. I'm not sure if that's what you agree with. Let me know in the comment section down below. But speaking of the comment section, I want to go through some of these fantastic comments. Gen Z are lazy though, and entitled. The version of working hard is a joke. Yeah. So their version, I can't disagree with that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is working hard? That looks a lot different from person to person. And, I don't want to generalize a whole generation, but you know what I'm saying? Get real, stop whining, and work harder. Make some sacrifices, pay your dues. Sad to see so many complaining because they want to work a deadbeat job but live a life of luxury. That's so spot on right there. I work anywhere between 50 to 100 hours a week, and on my off time, I work other projects so that make me income so I can afford to live in a nice house, drive a nice car, and go on vacation every so often. Yeah, that's 100%. My parents both work for minimum wage, sacrificed their time and struggled to keep a roof over their heads. It wasn't easy for them, but they made it work through their grit to succeed. 100%. She should also know that there are like immigrants that come over here that work way harder, jobs that no one wants. She's not laying down brick foundations, she's not out in the fields picking. She's at Walmart, AC, it's like what are we really talking about here? So to me, it's mostly the complaining. She does have a few valid points I would agree with, but for the most part I disagree. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.